And Akshay Dongre now joins us on the phone line. He was there witnessing the signing of agreements as well as the statements made by the two prime ministers. Summarize that for us, Akshay. Put into context what this relationship means for both the leaders currently.
Well, India and New Zealand have had a warm relations, Mark, but this new era in the relations in the two countries is extremely different from the previous relations we have had with the leadership of New Zealand. And in fact, as far as the vision of Prime Minister is concerned, the kind of push that has been given to India's foreign policy as far as our oceanic neighbors are concerned, it is unprecedented. In fact, it was just 2 days back, Prime Minister was making a push strengthening relations with the Mauritian government, and now it's the New Zealand
Right.
Prime Minister is here. He will be the keynote speaker at the Raisina Dialogue, and the Prime Minister of New Zealand is in India for 4 days. Along with Prime Minister, there is a huge delegation that has come. That was also mentioned by the Prime Minister as far as his speech is concerned while he addressed the media from India and from New Zealand as well. So both of the countries have shared concerns when it comes to freedom of movement, security, piracy, and other kind of challenges that are there in the Indian Ocean region. And New Zealand, especially being an island nation, it is solely dependent on trade through the oceanic route as far as the country's economy is concerned. So clearly, India being the resident power in the Indian Ocean region holds a very important place, and New Zealand does realize that, and therefore, apart from the other agreements that have been signed between the two countries, is also an MOU on operation, and the focus will also be on maritime security of the Indian Ocean region. New Zealand is also important in India's vision, not just in the Indian Ocean region, but also in the Indo-Pacific, where there have been certain challenges that have been rising up as far as freedom of movement and certain difficulties when it comes to China are concerned. So both the countries have shared opportunities along with shared challenges.
Yes, indeed.
They wish to fulfill and work on together in cooperation.
Yes, Akshay. Also, if we look at the signals of intent, apart from these MOUs, there is the intention now to reach an FTA and negotiations are going to start after a 10-year gap. Put this also into context for us.
Well, absolutely, and that perhaps is one of the highlights of the visit of the New Zealand Prime Minister. And as far as the FTA is concerned, Prime Minister very specifically mentioned that the FTA signed between the two countries will be a mutually beneficial one. So the talks have started, and that is a significant step as far as the free trade agreement talks are concerned between the two countries. Now, there is a lot that India can export to New Zealand. There is a lot it can import as well, and vice versa for New Zealand too. India is a growing market, and besides the free trade agreement discussions that have resumed after a long gap, we can also expect cooperation in various other fields too. For example, education. There will be a tourism sector that can be developed by New Zealand. The New Zealand Prime Minister spoke about developing India's education sector as well and cooperating in that. So apart from the free trade agreement, a lot is lined up in the 4-day visit of the New Zealand Prime Minister.
We leave it there. Thank you very much, Akshay Dongre, for putting that into context for us.